Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our winter member gathering. As we wait for our members to continue to join us today, we are pleased to offer some recognition for our generous donors and Legacy Circle members. Thank you so much for your support throughout this fiscal year. This is a snapshot of today's program. We'll begin with a welcome from Sherry Sorokin, a CEO update, as well as updates on policy and AAUW membership. And now for our welcome, Sherry Sorokin, Chair of our AAUW National Board of Directors.
So hi, everyone. I'm really delighted to be with you here today as we gather as AAUW members in support of our mission at a time actually when our work has never been more critical. Like many of you, I am passionate about AAUW and deeply grateful for the difference that it's made in my life and in the lives of countless women and girls. I'm truly disappointed, I guess really horrified is a better word, that we find ourselves at this moment where the progress we have fought so hard for is under attack. As I'm sure all of you on this call know, there are widespread efforts now, including those to roll back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, which threaten the progress we've made. In fact, they threaten really the foundation on which AAUW has been operating for the last 140 years. Well, we're here today to talk about two things in particular, two purposes. One is to reflect on the impact that we've made since our last member meeting in September, the ways in which we've advanced equity and created opportunities and strengthened our community. And this is a really good story. Second, the perhaps more difficult part is to talk about aligning around our critical priorities for the next year ahead in light of what we're facing, the challenges that we're facing. You know, we need to have a united strategic response. And it's more urgent than ever that our members and affiliates stand together in pursuit of our mission. AAUW has always been at the forefront of the fight for gender equity, economic security, and access to higher education for women. And we're continuing that work. The work ahead is urgent, and our success depends on our ability to move forward with clarity, purpose, unity, and unwavering commitment. By continuing to engage as AAUW members in these divisive times, we're also honoring the legacy of the women who came before us, the pioneers who refused to be silenced and who carved a path forward for future generations. Let's remember that these women, these women endured derision, harassment, hate, and worse because of their belief in advancing equity for women and girls. We need to do the same for the next generation. So what can we do today? As we look ahead, we have 5 clear calls to action that will keep us moving forward. Join, learn, share, act, and give. I'm going to go over them briefly. So join. It means obviously joining as members, but also bringing in others to join with us, because it's our collective strength that what makes change possible. Learning. We have a lot to learn from each other and from the valuable resources that AAUW provides, so we're equipped with the knowledge to advocate effectively. Share. We can all share more about AAUW with others in our local communities, expanding awareness of the organization and bringing more voices in to our movement. Aren't you proud that AAUW is one of the largest funders of women's graduate education in the country? We're investing in women who go on to change the world. And aren't you glad that you belong to an organization of women who support each other and advocate for equity, while at the same time creating lifelong friendships and networks of like-minded women all over the country? Act. Now more than ever, we're going to have to act. We're going to need to engage in advocacy at all levels, speaking out against injustice and working to advance policies that support and empower women and girls. At the national level, we do this in DC, but it's going to be even more important now to engage at the state and local level. And finally, giving. By all of us giving our time, our talent, and our financial support, we're helping to ensure that AAUW's critical work will continue for generations to come. By the way, I'm an annual donor at the local and the state and national levels, and goodness knows I've given a lot of time to AAUW during my life. But I'm also a Legacy Circle member, and I hope you are too, because I believe our mission must not only endure now, but into the future. In the face of adversity that we're facing, it's particularly important that we think about the future when we're not here physically to advocate. Your money will help if you're a member of the Legacy Circle. The challenges we see today remind us of the importance of thinking about the future. So I want to take just a second to personally thank you for standing with AAUW, for believing in our mission, and for being an essential part of this community. If you haven't already, I encourage you to join me in ensuring that AAUW remains strong by making it a priority among the organizations that you support. The road ahead is going to be challenging. It may cause us to refocus, to rethink, to regroup, but together we can press forward. We're not going back. So let's keep the momentum going and let's move forward together. And now let me turn it over to our wonderful CEO, Gloria Blackwell, for some further thoughts about this. Gloria?
Thank you so much, Sherry. Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with you virtually today at our winter member gathering. Although we may not be together in person, you can feel the energy of this incredible community of AAUW members united in our shared commitment to advancing equity for women and girls. I want to begin by acknowledging and thanking our outstanding board chair, Sherry Sorokin, for her exceptional leadership over the past year. Sherry, your service has been instrumental, and we are incredibly grateful for your dedication. As your term concludes in May, we look forward to honoring you for all that you've done. So everyone, if you could please join me wherever you are in giving Sherry a heartfelt thank you for her service. As we reflect on the months since our September gathering, I want to start by acknowledging something that we cannot ignore. The new administration has already brought a wave of executive orders that have caused harm across our communities. We are witnessing a swift shift in policies that deeply impact women and girls. And while we have anticipated change, the pace and the scope of it is already being felt. The administration, the courts, and Congress are abandoning the government's legal commitment to ensure inclusive and equal opportunity in schools and workplaces, with devastating impact on women, families, and already under-resourced communities, making economic stability more fragile and harder for people to live their lives with dignity and respect. It's clear that the work we do is more critical than ever. In this moment, we need to remember to take care of ourselves, to support one another, and those who look to us for support. Even if we can't see the entire pathway ahead, and the progress that we seek may take more time, our collective efforts must continue to shape a future where equity isn't just a dream, but a reality. The resilience of AAUW as an organization cannot be overlooked, and all we have invested in women and girls demands that we remain focused and purposeful as national, state, and branch members. As members, our resolve will certainly be tested. And as a national organization, we are committed to a focus on strategic priorities which leverage our strengths. Our expertise is supporting women's pathways to and women in higher education. We know that higher education is a key pathway to economic security and gender equity. AAUW's mission hinges on the foundational belief that economic empowerment is essential for gender equity. We also know that a post-secondary degree does not guarantee economic security. This fall, we continued our Women's Economic Empowerment Initiative, bringing salary negotiation and financial literacy training to college and university campuses across our country. We've also made these monthly virtual trainings available to all members for free. In addition to our regular virtual trainings, we continue to partner with organizations across the country to deliver this valuable programming, such as Tri Delta, the National Council of Negro Women, the DC Mayor's Office, Morgan Stanley, the YWCA of Pittsburgh, and many more. The impact of our programming has also been evaluated and recognized by Impact Genome, a third-party repository for impact data on over 2.2 million nonprofits and social programs. It really has been a productive time, and AAUW hosted numerous insightful and very well-attended virtual events like a post-election discussion about the future of women's economic security under the new administration and the 119th Congress. The webinar benefited from the expertise of an outstanding American Fellowship alumna, Dr. Heather Boucher, who served on the former President Biden's Council of Economic Advisors. We also held an informative conversation through our National Science Foundation Advanced Partnership Grant, focused on building community understanding of institutional compensation systems. And just this past week, AAUW's Inclusion and Equity Committee organized a webinar sharing practical tips on how to have bold and difficult conversations. AAUW's advocacy, impact, and leadership continue to be valued. We had the pleasure to attend key White House events, including the 30th anniversary of the Violence Against Women Act, and the International Day of the Girl Awards, where AAUW's network administrator for more than 2 decades, Ed Tiller, pictured on the left, was also there to proudly witness his daughter Kira being honored. It was a joy to share that moment with him. And while attending Vice President Harris's holiday celebration, I reconnected with former astronaut and AAUW Achievement Awardee, Dr. Mae Jemison, who spoke fondly of meeting AAUW members at our national event years ago. I also delivered the keynote at the Association for Women in Technology Champions Advanced Conference, where I had the opportunity to uplift our work supporting women in STEM and promote the importance of salary negotiation. And I certainly want to lift up my opportunities to connect with you, including the very successful AAUW Atlantic Regional Conference hosted by AAUW of Virginia, also welcoming the Lobby Corps to the AAUW National Office. I had a post-election conversation with AAUW of Connecticut and sharing our UN and global work with the LA County Interbranch Council. In addition to being invited to attend and participate in events hosted by our coalition and partner organizations, we continue to elevate AAUW's subject matter expertise by being featured in major news outlets, including the U.S. News and World Report, where we discussed the potential consequences of dissolving the Department of Education. We've also been in diverse issues in higher education, Her Money, and Higher Ed Dive. We've also contributed to several upcoming podcasts set to release later this month, one on women's safety on campus and another on pay equity. And I was very honored to be named the International Alliance by the International Alliance of Women as a 2024 World of Difference Award winner for advancing the economic empowerment of women. This recognition is not mine. It belongs to all of you who continue to make AAUW's collective work so impactful. Speaking of impact, AAUW's fellowships and grants remain prestigious and competitive. We received over 3,000 applications for the upcoming academic year. Currently, the AAUW team is providing support and coordination to more than 130 distinguished scholars and subject matter experts who are volunteering their time to serve as application review panelists. Many of these individuals return year after year and share a passion for AAUW's mission. I know that so many of you enjoy connecting with our outstanding fellowships and grants recipients locally, and the national team was so pleased to host a networking event in DC in the fall. This year's awards total $6.3 million for 261 women dedicated to growing their academic and career portfolios and using their expertise to advance equity for women and girls. Meeting awardees is always a special highlight of our work at AAUW because our fellows, grantees, and alumni are changing the world, including Community Action Grant alumna Yamile Toussaint, who's the founder and CEO of STEM from Dance. She was a 2024 CNN Hero of the Year nominee for her work engaging girls of color in STEM through an innovative program that explores the intersection of STEM and dance. The unwavering dedication and financial support of AAUW members since 1888, when our first fellowship was awarded, has provided over $146 million to nearly 15,000 recipients from 152 countries. That is the power of women coming together to support each other. Women like Dr. Sade M. Davis, an AAUW American Fellowship alumna. She is an associate professor at the University of Connecticut and believes her AAUW fellowship played an instrumental role in her academic career, where she now joins and is part of a community of powerful AAUW fellowship recipients. Our fellows and grantees consistently give us hope for the future as we all navigate this uncertain landscape and the relentless attacks on higher education, women's economic security, and the rights of women and girls. But we won't give up. We certainly can't give in. There's just too much at stake. And our alumni remind us that supporting women in higher education is crucial to AAUW's mission. As we face the stark reality of the great challenges ahead and the ongoing rollback of women's rights, last week we saw the unprecedented move of firing two commissioners with the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission, the agency that enforces civil rights protections in the workplace. We've also seen a U.S. District Court vacate the Title IX rules that were released in April of 2024. And this administration reversed President Biden's 2024 Title IX changes just last Friday. These moves make it harder for students who've experienced sexual harassment or violence to come forward to get the civil rights protections in education that Title IX was created to provide. While these changes are deeply concerning, we cannot let them deter us. Supporting women in higher education is foundational to our mission, and we remain steadfast in our commitment to our mission, which is rooted in the strength, courage, and purpose of our members. Side by side, we will continue to fight for, for the women, girls, and communities we cherish, the impact that we elevate, and the legacies we create. With your ongoing support, we're confident that we will persevere. Just a few weeks ago, I attended the American Association of Colleges and Universities annual meeting, where the theme was reaffirming higher education's public purpose. The event was deeply inspiring, reminding us that even though we may not have all of the answers right now, our collective efforts must continue our mission to ensure access to and success in education and continue to shape a future where equity isn't just a dream, but a reality. So I'm reminded of how important it is for all of our members, branches, and states to be aligned in this critical work. We are stronger together, and I encourage all of you to join, share, act, learn, and give to sustain and move our mission forward. Many of you have already answered our call. Thank you. I applaud and appreciate your generosity and your dedication. AAUW would not be where we are today, nearly 144 years later, without our members. That being said, we know only a fraction of our members are donors, advocates, and attendees at our events. We appreciate the more than 300 branches that completed our FY24 branch survey, but that number is less than half of our total branches. Holding mission-based programs and supporting AAUW National advances our mission and gives us a fighting chance to face our challenges head-on. Today, you'll hear from AAUW Senior Director of Institutional Advancement, Katrina Sunbreeze, who will provide important membership updates and a preview of our fiscal year 2024 annual report. So while we face an uncertain future, I take heart in knowing that AAUW's work remains vital. We are on the front lines of advocating for college affordability, civil rights protection on campuses, and reducing barriers to post-secondary success. And the need for our advocacy and your advocacy has never been greater. We will not back down. We will not give up. The stakes are too high. Do we have all of the answers right now regarding what lies ahead? No, we don't. But as we navigate this period, we are committed to staying resilient and preparing for the challenges we may face, because we still hold an unwavering belief that together we can leverage our collective passion and power to defend efforts to push back on our priorities. Every positive action, no matter how small, may play a role in helping to shape a better future. Whether it's through acts of kindness, advocating for what's right, or challenging limitations, we will each continue to contribute to the broader movement towards justice and equity. Up next, our Senior Director of Policy and Member Advocacy, Megan Cassell, will provide an important update on AAUW's focused public policy priorities and the work that we will do in the 119th Congress. Her leadership will be critical as we navigate these complex challenges ahead, and I'm very confident that together we will continue to fight for the protections and opportunities that women and girls deserve. Please accept the National Staff's immense gratitude for your dedication and for your support. Together, we will continue to make a difference in the lives of women and girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. And before I begin, I just want to extend my own thanks to all of the members who are with us right now, who commented in the past month on the public policy principles and priorities. I do want to let you all know that every single comment has been reviewed. The Public Policy Committee is currently making some adaptation based on your feedback, so thank you for that. And you will see the final version for your vote later in April. So thank you. So before I get to where we are now, I do want to take a moment to look backwards. And while it may seem like years since the election, it's really only been a couple months, I want to acknowledge all of the work of our members across the country who conducted voter registration events, helped raise visibility about the issues that were important on the ballot. And so many of our states actually worked on ballot issues, and we actually did see so much success there. So a special thank you to those states. We saw people vote in favor of keeping public money with public schools, in favor of paid leave programs, and we saw people vote to protect and expand access to reproductive care, including abortion. And while we're facing political uncertainty, it really is important that we don't lose sight of our ability to make positive change. I also want to take another moment to provide some recognition. This is the first year that we're recognizing the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act anniversary without Lilly Ledbetter with us. So, as many of you may recall, Lilly stood side by side with AAUW members, and we stood side by side with her to get that bill passed. And while we remember her tenacity, I'm glad to say that part of her legacy with AAUW lives on. And I'm pleased to share with you today our latest update to the simple truth, our analysis of the gender and racial pay gap. You'll be able to find a fact sheet on our website today that gives information about the pay gap and provides information on state-by-state gaps. Later this month, we'll also be sharing with you a more robust update to the research and other tools that you'll be able to use at a local branch level to help raise awareness of a really persistent issue. But now let me turn your attention to what we're seeing in DC. That there have been an increasing number of political attacks on so many issues that we care deeply about. So we only have so much time. I was told not to take up the entire event all on me and all of this work. So let me highlight a couple of things in particular. First, let me start with Congress. The 119th Congress started off with a bang. We've already seen quite a number of issues quite a number of bills that have been introduced into Congress. We did see the House already introduce and pass an anti-trans sports bill, an anti-transgender sports bill. We've opposed this bill both this year and in the past because blanket bans are bad policy. And I'm happy to go into that with anybody who'd like more information. But today, we also saw two positive bills. Two AAUW endorsed bills were introduced today that would expand FMLA job protections to more people. So I hope that you've received an Action Network email from us and that you're taking those 2 minutes to take action and ask Congress to support the Job Protection Act. This is not a perfect bill. This would be expanding unpaid leave, but we're still talking about trying to make sure that women do not have to choose between taking care of their health or the health of their family and having a job at the end of the day. I am encouraged with Congress that we've already had very productive conversations with some folks on the Senate about bills that we know will be introduced later this year, that AAUW has been asked to be the lead organization on. So I look forward to sharing with you more information. I hope that we will all be working together on gender equity bills and bills that are helping to advance both women and underrepresented minorities in STEM. While a lot of the news seems so outrageously negative, there are positive things that we can be doing right now. And even if the pace in Congress is not fast, everything that we are doing in the 119th Congress, we will work to see what progress we can make, and we'll continue to raise information, increase the visibility of our issues so that when we see a different makeup in Congress, that we may see more progress quickly. I can't have this conversation with all of you without talking about the administration. This administration has, President Trump has actually signed more executive orders in his first 30 days than we've seen in the last 40 years. So record numbers, and it would take far too long for me to go through and detail the 50+ executive orders. There are several that we are quite focused on, orders that pretend to peel back protections from Title IX by redefining gender and sex, executive orders about diversity, equity, and inclusion, We've seen executive orders on curriculum control and parents' rights, and executive orders trying to push forward voucher programs at the state level. These are issues that I know that all of you have been fighting against in your communities, because we do believe in merit-based opportunities, but we also recognize that that is not available to everybody. And there are systematic barriers that have been put in the way, and there are tangible things that we could be doing to help reduce barriers to equal opportunity. And we will continue to fight for those. I also do want to let everybody know, and if you take one thing away from what I'm saying today, it is that executive orders cannot replace existing laws. That includes laws like Title IX, Title VII. These are laws that have been passed by Congress, and they remain the law of the land. Executive orders can cause a tremendous amount of confusion, and they have, but they can't overturn Supreme Court decisions. They can't overturn decisions in the Bostock case that clearly states that discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity is a form of sex discrimination. So while even today we saw another executive order that flies in the face of what we value and believe in terms of everyone having equal opportunity in education, the workforce, and in our society, please know that these issues will be fought in the courts. They will be fought in Congress. But let me turn to the courts just for a quick moment and comment that we have seen a couple of pieces here. We did see a terrible setback for Title IX. Our members worked very hard for the past 5 years to try to move past Title IX regulations that were passed in 2020 when Betsy DeVos was the Secretary of Education. Unfortunately, what we saw just a week or so ago was a court in Kentucky actually eliminating those rules. It is as if the 2024 rules that focused on survivors, that were inclusive and codified protections for LGBTQ students, that articulated how Title IX should support students who may be pregnant or parenting, all of that has gone away. And on Friday, the Department of Education issued guidance that has affirmed we are back under the DeVos rules. The sky has not fallen. This is not where we want to be, but there will still be opportunities to help students using Title IX, and there will be opportunities for us to continue educating folks about our shared values and how we actually want everybody to have all of the opportunities available to them. But on that point, let me shift to talking a little bit about higher education. For the past year, more than the past year, higher education has been under attack. At the state level, there have been a record number of anti-DEI bills over the past couple of years. We're also seeing a quiet shift taking place, a conversation that really isn't being said out loud, but might have very significant implications for students. And it's really this question is, what's the purpose of higher education? Is the sole purpose for workforce development? I think it's more than that. And I think many of you do too. If higher education is reduced to only workforce development, this brings us policies like the Bipartisan Workforce Pell Act. Reasonable sounding name. However, it would divert money from eligible students who've been accepted to 2- and 4-year institutions and redirect it to short-term certificate programs that have no guardrails to prevent abuse from for-profit companies. So we are going to continue to focus on what policies will help increase access to higher education of students. We're going to continue our support of doubling Pell Grants and providing more funding for career and technical education. But what are the other financial assistance programs that might help defray the cost of college? Once students are in higher ed, how can they be successful? What can we do from a policy perspective? So we're going to continue to fight to strengthen student civil rights protections, including making sure we have the best version of Title IX, that it's living up to its original promise. We want to make sure that all students can attend schools free of harassment, violence, and discrimination. I apologize. Hold on just a moment. Screaming robustly at my television has taken my voice away. But we also want to make sure that we are supporting policies that will meet the needs of an evolving student body. We have more students today are attending colleges that they may be the first in their families to attend college. Many need financial aid. Some are affiliated with the military. Others have disabilities. Many people work. Others are single parents. We will continue to look at policies that are going to support all students, their needs on and off campus. So with that, I'm going to conclude. I'm going to turn things over to my colleague, Katrina Sunbreeze, but I do look forward to working with all of you this year and answering any questions that you may have and having you alongside us as we work with Congress and this administration. So thank you.
Thank you, Megan, for that very important policy and member advocacy update. It seems like with the blink of all of our eyes, things are changing at a very fast pace. And so we look forward to sharing more about what we're doing on the policy front with our members throughout this year. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but I know our members are ready to get to work. And as AAUW Senior Director of Institutional Advancement, I lead AAUW's membership and fundraising teams, and am happy to be sharing membership updates with you today. AAUW's 5-star program is the first highlight today. It tracks and recognizes our branch progress against 5 key categories in advancement, policy, programming, governance, and communications. The criteria for the 5-star program can be found on our website, and we provide multiple ways that branches can earn stars, as well as resources available to assist them. Our advancement star is tracked by financial data collected from the national office, but for all other stars, our branch progress is tracked by pulling responses from the annual branch survey. For this past fiscal year, the survey launched and was concluded in the past fall. And 5-star is not only designed to recognize branches for their works, but importantly, the program provides a framework and resources for branch success. I'd like to take the time to provide some key stats pulled from the most recent FY24 survey responses. For this past year, 320 branches completed the survey, representing 46% of branches. That is an increase year to year, but still does only represent less than half of our branches. I do want to pause to provide a special thank you to all of the members on our advancement committee, who I know did a lot of very personalized research, or not research, follow-up rather, to branches in their states to encourage them to respond to the branch survey. So just pausing very quickly to say thank you to the advancement committee. Of those branches that completed the survey, we had many earn a variety of stars. The most popular star was the communication star. We had 254 branches earn the communication star. 200 earned the program star. 65 earned the governance star. 41 the policy star. And then lastly, 73 earned the advancement star. And 15 branches actually earned all 5 stars. I know the slide says 14, but we had one additional branch that we'd like to recognize having earned all 5 stars. So from these numbers, we can see that branches are doing really well with communications and programs, but there are a few areas of focus, and those include governance, policy, and advancement. I'd like to take the time now to provide the special recognition for those branches which earned all 5 stars. We really commend both your participation in the annual survey, but also your excellence in our 5 key categories. These 15 outstanding branches are the Fremont, California branch, Lompoc Vandenberg, Marin, Orinda Moraga Lafayette, Morgan Hill, California Online branch, Elmhurst area branch, Batavia, Geneva, St. Charles, Salem, Beaver Valley, Northeast Tarrant County, Alexandria, Springfield, Annandale, Virginia Beach, and Racine. For the FY25 branch survey, we're making some changes based on feedback gathered from our branch leaders this fall. The first change that we're making is we're launching the survey earlier and in April, moving it up from the fall timeline. This is so that our presidents in fiscal year 25 can facilitate participation and completion for their branches during their term and prior to the close of this fiscal year. We're also sharing Advancement Star mid-year progress reports to branches this month so that each of your branches can see how you've been doing in your fundraising and your member retention. We're also asking all branches to complete this survey, and I just wanted to take a moment to emphasize why we believe this is so important. So the survey's importance goes beyond just recognition through the 5-star program. It serves as an annual report of branch activities, and the national office needs a way to learn about the activities of our branches. Because in addition to a report out of activities, we're also soliciting feedback on the resources and tools that are most meaningful and helpful to accomplishing the goals outlined. We appreciate the combined effort of our state leaders, national board, and committees to raising awareness of the importance of every branch submitting a response to the survey. The comment period for dues, bylaws, and public policy priority changes recently concluded, and I wanted to say that we truly appreciate the participation of so many members. As member leaders navigated conversations with their branches, we were asked for more information about the value of the national organization, which would aid in their conversation with individual members. The value that we bring and the work that my team tirelessly completes falls into 6 key categories. On the administrative front, not only do we maintain records for our branches, we also assist in the filling out of 990 forms, tax forms for our branches. We maintain a database, the community hub for our membership. We are able to also manage the dues process and reporting for each of our branches. We serve as subject matter experts and frequently and throughout the year serve as speakers at branch and state events. Many of you may be familiar with our speaker request form or may have heard from either Gloria or Megan or others from our board and our staff to be able to speak at your branch events. We do volunteer coordination. We coordinate Lobby Corps, Archive Corps, our national committees, and are actively working to both recruit and support all of those committees. We provide training, resources, and tools. The Connect team offers bi-weekly office hours for our member leaders. We have countless FAQs and video tools. We have webinars that are all available on our website. We provide branding and marketing support and recently concluded the updating of over 500 branch and state websites across the country, which are hosted on AAUW's multi-site. And of course, we work tirelessly on our policy and member advocacy work, really driven by our public policy priorities. Today, we're excited to launch, in addition to Simple Truth, our AAUW National FY24 Annual Report. The focus areas of this year's report are showcasing impact, including a special highlight of programs supported by the Greatest Needs Fund, recognition of our generous donors and Legacy Circle members, and financial transparency. While our board-approved budget, 990s, and audited financials have always been publicly available on our website, the annual report provides summaries, visuals, and highlights of key information we know our members care about. The content in this year's annual report was informed by our members and donors, and in particular, feedback was gathered from a recent survey of our donors about the Greatest Needs Fund. As we conclude our program, I'd like to once again share our 5 calls to action. You heard already from Sherry, Gloria, and Megan earlier today that it's essential for all members to be aligned in our vision of advancing equity. Protections for women in higher education have been dismantled, and as we have been a leader in this area since our founding, it is our responsibility to respond. The path to do this involves aligning our members in mission-based work and support of AAUW National. How can you help? You can join, both renewing your membership as well as encouraging others to join, learning, acting, sharing, and giving. Today, our generously funded fellowships and grants endowments have the ability to last in perpetuity. And it all started when Marion Talbot and fellowships chair Christine Ladd Franklin asked all members to contribute $1 per year. Today, just 17% of members make a gift to AAUW. But imagine what we could accomplish if we had 100% participation. The last informal call to action, please support one another. AAUW membership serves as a powerful network and community of activists, allies, and friends. I know we've shared a lot of information today, and we're so grateful that you took the time to join us. We also appreciate those of you who've sent us any questions, and we answered as many of them as we could. But should you have further questions or are in need of support, please contact us. In addition to the Connect team, we have special inboxes for fellowships and grants, policy and member advocacy, and the executive team. Following today's webinar, all registrants will receive the recording as well as helpful links to the resources we referenced today. Thank you once again for joining us. And until next time, goodbye.